My name is Melody Paul, and I'm 40 years old. And the forms of recovery that I have gravitated towards is mostly Wellbriety, believe it or not. Wellbriety has helped me to see the things that I needed to see in my culture and my program.
How did you come to know that you had a problem, and how did you find recovery?
I moved to Maine in 98 and I was like 17, and um I always been a good worker, like for ever since I can remember. I got a job raking blueberries over in the Barrens and in Cherryfield area, over the down east area. And people would party on the weekends, and I was underage. They didn't care, and I was like, okay, I'll drink. It didn't really get bad till my 30s. I was kind of responsible a little bit, and I had a son, and I settled down for about 10 years. But during that, when I was settled down, I um I started using abusing my prescription medication. I stopped the drinking, but I picked up another habit, and that was I started overeating. I was taking a Ritalin, and I was prescribed Ritalin, and I was using it wrong. I was prescribed Valium, and I abused it. And then I was prescribed Ambien, and I would take it during the day. I would try to to not do it around my son. I'd wait till he went to school, and then I would do it after when he was in school. That went on for a few years. Um, I ended up, when I didn't have my prescriptions, I would drink. And then the person I was with at the time was prescribed pain pills, so um he would give me pain pills. He would share his medication with me, so I shared my medication with him, and that went on for a few years as well. So it's 6 years altogether. And if I didn't have it, I'd try to make connections in town. um and I made connections real fast. In 2012, I ended up had DHS involvement, and DHS required me to. I had to do a rehab program, and they said that I wouldn't be able to have my son with me unless I did a 12-step. I applied to a few places, then I got into one in Bangor, and I was there for 5.5 months, and I ended up doing really good, and I felt I had felt good again. I enjoyed the classes. I did everything that they asked me to do, and then I left that program. But leaving that program, I didn't have a sponsor. I ended up, once in a while, like once a month, I'd go to a meeting in the area. So I gave up all the anxiety medication, but I still sometimes didn't know how to manage my anxiety. I didn't know how to, I didn't know what to do. I was like in a bad relationship, and abusive, controlling relationship for 13 years. And I went back to that after rehab, and, you know, um, to kind of get my family back together, my son and his father. So I went back to that thinking that I was going to be okay again, but really it wasn't okay. So I guess I did that for 3 more years, but I wasn't using substance. I wasn't drinking, but I didn't have a program. I was really kind of depressed inside. I started working two jobs so I would avoid being home with my partner. I got where I we weren't getting along. So I started being addicted to working. I started working two jobs. I ended up relapsing. I ended up taking Valium. Um, he needed a ride one day to the hospital, and he wanted me to be with him for a couple days. And so I went, and I seen the Valium again, and I seen the pain pills again, and it just started off. I, I ended up taking a lot of his medication. I ended up leaving the relationship and then moving in with this person that was actively using, and then we started actively using again. I started using on a daily basis, drinking or whatever, you know. So tried heroin for the first time. We did that went on for a couple months. And in the summer of 2016, it was a daily thing. And then one night, I witnessed him having an overdose, and he fell right over, and he, the paramedics had to come get him, and then they took him to the hospital, and it was so scary. I thought he was going to stop. At this point, a few months later, we were living together. I just got to this point where I said, well, let me try the needle. Let me do it. I want to see what it feels like. And then I tried it, and I instantly did get hooked that quickly. That one time, and that was a 9-month bender. I pawned almost everything valuable in my apartment. The partner that I'm talking about, this person, um, he had he had a he had a sister that was an addict too. So I got a little close to her, and you know, I was just kind of, living this like sick life for 9 straight months. And then one day she called and she's like, well, can you get me something in Bangor? So I told her, okay, let me help you, right? And I wasn't helping her really. I was actually contributing to something that was going to be way bad. And then the next day, my partner got a phone call, and it was like 6 o'clock. So he answered the phone, and it was his other sister. Um, and she told us that sh- she had had an overdose, and she died. And that was horrible. That was like one of the worst things that I've had to experience in my life. We were still so sick that I got in this zone where I was like, well, let me get something to help you. After that is for 3 weeks, we still continued to use. We didn't care what will happen later. I was in Cherryfield driving to get money. I was driving down east to go get money so I can get drugs. And Charlie called me and he said that the cops were gonna take him and arrest him for trafficking. So both of us got charged with trafficking. I got arrested after a few hours later, and I ended up seeing him at the Knox County Jail. When that happened, um, things changed for for the both of us. I ended up starting to realize what I needed to do, and I started sobering up. It took about a month to clear my mind. At Knox County, I started to go to Bible study, and I started going to 12-step programs. I started, being by myself in that cell. I started to realize, what I was doing was really wrong, and how I was living for the years I was living like that was wrong. So I did get sentenced to 115 months, and I went to Wyndham for a year, I just started to open up more, and I that year was the best. That was the most healing year of my life. I was able to decide on what I really wanted to do, and that was writing. I didn't realize how much I love to write. I started I was very disciplined, and I started writing. Um I wrote the story out, 20-year story. I was like, what am I doing? I can do better than this. I can do better than this. I can When I get out, I'm going to go to the meetings that they have. I know there's meetings. I'm going to reach out to community. I started reaching out. I went every day for 90 days when I got released. And it's weird because um, I started liking it. I was volunteering at the Bangor Area Recovery Network.
Sure.
For,
Yep. Yep. Because
yes,
that's
for
a 12-step program. So, yep.
yeah, I was there I volunteered every Wednesday. And during holidays, so I got addicted to exercising and walking and healthy good stuff. Um I I was able to publish my book. Now my book is out. It's called Savage to Wellness. I have it. And I facilitate a Wellbriety meeting weekly at the barn for over a year now. Over a year, even during COVID. Now we do two we're doing two Wellbriety meetings. My sponsor has been with me for over 2 years now. I check in with her. I have people in the program that check on me daily just to see how I'm doing. I'm just so grateful. Um, the the promises of recovery is like have been happening to me. I My son's come back, and he's living with me now. I have a full-time job. I'm going to go back to school hopefully in September 2021 is my goal date. So, just a lot of good things because I chose the recovery road. And I'm a recovery certified recovery coach now, and I'm just very grateful for um, the program, and I'm grateful for the people that I've met